Hi everyone. So a lot of us have been going through a little heat wave. I don't know if you can see out there, but right now it's about 108 degrees outside. So we're gonna fix that a little bit and help ourselves cool off with some ice cream. Does ice cream sound good, Ringo? Ringo, you want some ice cream? Let's make some. All right, here for our ingredients, we have 2.5 cups of half and half, 2.5 cups of heavy cream or whipping cream or heavy whipping cream or double cream. It's all the same thing. 8 egg yolks. And if you don't want to throw away all those egg whites, you could make an omelet. I never condone making an omelet, but if you want to, there you go. 1 cup of sugar, a dash of salt, and 4 teaspoons of vanilla. That's for our base vanilla ice cream recipe. And I'm going to be making Rocky Road today. So for Rocky Road, you also need half a cup of cocoa powder, half a cup of chopped pecans, and 1 cup of marshmallows. And if you just want, say, chocolate ice cream, just add the cocoa powder. Or strawberry ice cream, you can add some fresh strawberries right when you're about to eat it. Whatever you want, really. All right, let's make some ice cream. So we're going to add the half and half to a saucepan and cook it over medium heat just until it starts to steam. Don't let it bubble at all. And then whip together the egg yolks and the sugar in a large bowl for about 30 seconds. And then while you're still stirring together the egg yolks, very gradually add in the half and half and mix that together for about another 30 seconds. And then add that whole thing back to your saucepan and cook that just until little bubbles start to form around the edge. Don't let it boil. Once that's done, add it to a large bowl and then add in the whipping cream, the vanilla, and the salt. Stir that together until it's nice and combined. And then let that cool. Put it in a nice little refrigerator safe dish. And we're gonna chill it for at least 8 hours, preferably overnight. It needs to be as cold as you can get it without actually letting it freeze. I spilled it. I made a mess. 1 second. There we go. All better. So here initially, we just want to stir it occasionally. And then once we mix in the egg yolks and the sugar, you need to stir it constantly. All right, that's looking good. So I'm going to take it off the heat and we will move over to mixing together the eggs and the sugar. Okay, and now on a low speed, I'm going to grab our half and half here and very gradually pour it in. Let's take a good grip on it. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we are. There we go. Oh. I spilled again. Oh my gosh. I'm so clumsy today. Okay, I'll head back over to the stove and hopefully not make any more messes. Okay, now that we're back on the heat, we need to stir constantly just until little bubbles start to form on the edge. So stir for a few seconds here, and then pause. Just a few seconds, see if you see any bubbles on the edge. Once you do, stop and take it off the heat. You will get bubbles when you're stirring like this, so don't confuse that with bubbles forming along the edge. That's why we pause and wait to see if there's any that are coming up. I think we're getting close. Oop. Okay, there we go. There's our bubbles. So I'm going to take it off the heat and we'll mix in the other ingredients. All right. And here is our little half and half mixture. So I'm sure you noticed it does get a little chunky there sometimes. That's totally fine. It's just the milk cooking into a solid. Doesn't hurt it at all. It might feel a little different as the final product, but if you stir it up enough right here, then it'll be fine. Okay, and before we didn't let anything cool down, but now we're going to let this cool down to room temperature and then throw it in a bowl, stick it in your fridge for at least 8 hours or overnight, and then we'll continue. All right, and now we're going to mix together our ice cream. So you'll see that I've got a cool little attachment for my stand mixer to do this much easier, but I don't expect you to go out and spend $300 to be able to make this yourself. So what you can do is take 2 metal bowls, one small, one large, or 2 saucepans, like I've got here, and put ice in the bottom of the big one, put the small one inside, freeze those for a couple hours, just so they're as cold as the ice, and then put your ice cream mixture in the small one. And stir it, just like it's going to stir here. It's going to take a while. It'll be a lot of effort, but it'll still work just as well as it's going to work here. So if you just have non-solid ingredients, add those immediately when you start mixing. If you have solid ingredients, add those in about the last 5 minutes of mixing. And then once you're done, either eat your ice cream immediately, because it's immediately going to start melting, or put it in another container and throw it back in your freezer for a while. Once it's frozen, it'll look much more like regular ice cream. So I'm going to start this immediately because I don't want any of this to get up to temperature as much as I can help it. Lock that and just start this on a low speed. Here. And we'll pour in my ice cream. Hope I don't make a mess here. Okay, there we go. And I will throw in our chocolate flavoring right here to start. I did mention non-solid ingredients, but what I really meant by that is like not anything that's really thick. A powder like this is totally fine to add right when you start, and you should, so that it for sure gets well mixed into the ice cream. And now I'm making a mess. A little bit. There we go. Not a lot of room to work with on that bowl. Let some of that in as much as I can. So, like I mentioned, this is going to take quite a while. If you're doing this by hand, you can use an electric hand mixer to actually mix the ice cream inside of the smaller bowl. You can also whisk it by hand. That's obviously going to be a lot more work, and it's a great workout though if you want to do that. There is another method if you really don't want to put in all the effort by hand and you happen to have a food processor. You can also freeze that whole our whole block of ice cream here, and then just break it up into chunks that'll fit in your food processor, and then blend it until it's not actually going to be like ice cream if you do it like that, but it's a lot less effort. But I wouldn't recommend that because the whole point of doing it slow like this is so that we don't get big ice chunks in our ice cream. And doing the food processor thing like that, you definitely will still have large chunks no matter how long you blend it. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have a fancy machine like this, do it with the 2-bowl method. There's also a method for putting ice in a large bag and just putting your ice cream in a smaller bag and shaking it up. But that can, obviously the bags could break then and you'll have a big mess. But that would be less physical work if you don't have any sort of electric mixer. They do also, I don't know where exactly to buy one, but I know if you don't want to invest in a whole system like this, they do sell just mixers meant for ice cream. Would certainly be cheaper than this, but if you already have everything on hand, like a metal bowl and an electric mixer, then that's definitely the way to go. So I will let this go, and I will see you back here when we're ready to add in our solid ingredients. Okay, that's looking good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. And really quickly throw in our solid ingredients here. Or more solid ingredients, I should say. Oop. If I could pick up, nope. Nope. I can't pick this up. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Okay. So there's the nuts. And throw in the marshmallows here. So you can see that this basically just looks like soft serve right now. So once this is done mixing, either eat it immediately, and I mean like immediately, or stick it back in your freezer for a couple hours, and then it will look like actual ice cream. If you do have a machine like this, you can see that that skipping means it's done because it's too thick to actually run consistently. So. Okay, and I'll call that good. All right. So, enjoy. All right, well, we made some ice cream, but we need to make some cake to go along with it. So meet me back here next week for that. We'll be making a funfetti vanilla cake. It'll be so cool. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until then, I hope you all have a great week. Love you all. Bye.